Hi there, welcome everyone to our monthly or this time bi-monthly product webinar. My name is Palina and I sincerely hope that you can hear me well and you can see me well. If something is going wrong, please don't hesitate to ping us in chat. Why do I say us? Me. Ping me in chat and I will do my best to fix technical issues, if any. So, hi there. Um, I think I'll start right now and I'll share the screen and we'll guide you through all the improvements Fibery team made in the recent 2 months, December and January. We decided to combine them because um, in December, in the last couple of weeks, we had like company days off, and that's where we announced releases. And in January, it was also a slow start for all of us, so combining seemed as a good idea. Right now, I'm not that definitely sure because we released that much things, so I had to cut a couple of improvements, and I will just slightly mention them, not to spend too much of your time. So this webinar will be recorded. Recording will be sent to you to your registrant's email. So if at some point you have to go away, keep in focus. These days is a very complicated thing, and it will be also uploaded to the YouTube. Um, so I think that this is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them here. And I think that there is also like ask a question button somewhere here. After the webinar, I'll make a pause and answer everything, either updates related or if you have like, I don't know, any question that comes to your mind, I'll be happy to answer if I can. If I cannot, I will say sorry. So yes, now let me do my best to share the screen. Okay, which one do I want to share? I think this one. Okay, I believe you have to see my screen. So that's our plan for today. First of all, we are going to talk a little bit about batch actions and permissions. Then we are going to run through Thermalus, Whiteboard updates, and other things that I failed to group in a way that makes sense. Also, we're like constantly updating some education things, like templates and these kind of things. So you will see what's going on here, and there will be a QA part as well. Um, Testing webinar that I recorded myself took like 25 minutes. So I hope that 25 and 30 minutes, it's the time how much it will take. Then we'll have some time for Q&A until we have some questions. So yeah, that will be it. Let's get it started. So let's start from some stats. In these 2 months, there were 9 Thursdays, and we had 7 releases. So 2 of them were lost. We released 58 features. I'm a bit afraid to say that, but some of them were technical. So we're still making a lot of like invisible features that make the pricing limitations look smoother and more reasonable. So it's like about onboarding and offboarding. Maybe I hope many of you will never see them because they're about offboarding and you will be with us forever. So yeah, and we fixed 54 bugs. Only those that were reported by customers, not including those that were found by QAs during feature testing. So yes, quite nice. We also answered 781 chats, and we had like 800 posts in the community. Thank you so much, guys, like for contacting with us, real humans. And as a team, we had 2 calls, all hands. That means that every teammate was there. So yeah, we're a remote team, but don't like to look at each other that much. Regarding batch actions, I think that's quite an improvement that we released because finally you can edit many cards, many entities at the same time from a single view uh, without extra action buttons or copy pasting or struggles. So okay, there we are. I will give you an example how it looks like. For example, right here, right, we are on the board. Now I can just like highlight a few cards, and now I have this kind of pop-up appeared, and I can edit fields. It gives me ability to see which fields can I edit, which are not read-only ones. So we will not say, of course, here like created by, modification date, formulas for sure. And if I change something here, okay, it will be updated like this. So you can also undo it, I think, this is amazing because unfortunately in Fibery it's a big challenge to undo big changes, especially accidental ones. And those batch actions right now are available on any view, like table view, board view, everywhere. So if something is not working smoothly or as you expect it to work, please like ping us, let us know. And regarding the next improvements, um, maybe we will do the batch drag and drop because it's not here yet, unfortunately. Our sorting logic is like a challenge for us, for ourselves as well. And batch lock. So we will talk about lock a little bit later. And maybe someday we'll have it. So if you think that batch locking or batch drag and drop makes a lot of sense for you, please ping us, let us know, because every vote is counted. We have a few requests, but not that many to change our focus from our approved plans. Okay, next thing is whiteboard updates. So in these months, we focused mostly on area with the sticky note improvements and comments. We have comments, but you cannot see them yet. I hope they will be released next week because they're tested now. But regarding the sticky notes, we did quite a lot. Let me probably show it to you. Okay, there is a whiteboard to show. So now there is a text and sticky notes. You can even see the author. You can also define whether you want to see the author or is it quite annoying. You can also have like quick add-in notes by pressing tab. And this notes is like also like resized nicely and according to the amount of text that it didn't behave like this before. So yeah, you can quickly add, you can resize, you can, by the way, resize the notes as well. So it looks much better from my perspective. So, and please note that these improvements, especially with the author, they're available on new whiteboards only. So old ones were not migrated. And if you will check out, like, for example, the old sticky note, you will not see here the author, although like this button is here. So this is probably something we're trying to do at some point, but it's not here yet. Okay. And comments will be coming next week. And next thing that we are already working on is search by content, by text. So it's something we also were frequently asked. And next area we hope to improve, like we did with sticky notes, are groups. So better groups behavior. Also, small announcement here that I think that whiteboard in the first quarter we'll receive also a few updates. I think we have like 4 or 5 features in the backlog, and then it will be it. So a developer who was focusing on the whiteboard all the time and improving it and fixing bugs together with the designer, they will go to the files improvements area. So if there is something very annoying in the whiteboard or something that you think would absolutely change all the use cases you ever thought of and you really wanted us to deliver it, that's the time to ping us and let us know about it. So then there will be a chance that this feature will appear in the scope. So yeah, this is what we have about whiteboards. I think we're going quite fast. Cannot say that I don't like it. I think I like it. Formula updates. Somehow, unexpectedly, formulas received a lot of love these 2 months. No one expected, but even though we're not a Spanish Inquisition, those improvements are here. So there is like a lot of new formulas we added, and probably like showing you how to add a formula field and how to just paste the new formulas inside will not be very interesting. So I will share with you just a couple of use cases where you can use these new formulas. Okay. Okay, I hope I see the correct screen now. Yes. So ability to add month to a date makes a lot of sense because before, how it worked, you could only add days. Let's say you want to calculate next billing cycle of the subscription plan, and it was January 15th, and the next one will be February 15th. So there was no way to say, like, just add 1 month. You could say add 30 days, add 31 days, add 29, add 28 days. So it didn't take into account that the fact that months have different number of days. By the way, if you had 13 months, this would be solved probably naturally, but yeah. So you can better calculate billing cycles. It's easier to automatically determine project deadlines based on the phase durations. If you have inventory tracking or want to calculate, for example, warranty expiration, or you have repetitive process in this area, because yes, we have such customers, you can do this. And yeah, maintenance is also a good use case. Next, syntax is about ability to calculate the week number. I think that will be incredibly beneficial if at some point it will be possible to use dates as columns in board view. So I could plan tasks by weeks. So it's possible already with the auxiliary database called week, and a couple of iterations that will create those weeks every month, and this is it. But still, you can just sometimes, even on a task level, it's easier to see which week it belongs to. And this is an example how before the formula that Chris, our solution architect, invented looked like to replace this wonderful syntax. The next one we released was weekday number formula function. So we are returning a weekday number for a given date, like 1 for Sunday and 7 for Saturday. And you could make it work for custom reminders based on the weekdays, for scheduling social media posts, like for example, remind me when there is Monday, so I have to post it, or even run a script that will post something, because with our webhooks, you can post things in blogs or in social medias. It's better to analyze something by week without reports even. And there you also see a formula that used to be used to determine the weekday number, and also invented by Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, that you exist in our team. Love you. Next one is absolute value. It's returning non-negative magnitude of a number by removing its sign. I think it's helpful for analytics and finance things. So when you have to compare profit and loss tracking, or you have to track errors in data comparison. By the way, if you're interested in Fibery for finance, we have such an article from our CFO in our blog. So if anyone interested, ping me. I will send it to you. And maybe if you're still, for example, in spreadsheets, this will make more sense for you, and this formula will be helpful. And we also have the last one here, log. It's calculating a logarithm. So do I personally know what logarithm knows? What logarithm is? Yes. Have I ever was lacking this ability in Fibery? No. But one of our customers told that with logarithm, it's much easier to calculate money. So I'm waiting for the use case when to calculate money, we will need to use a log formula. And I hope that you're in such a situation right now as well. So just adding switch case to the formulas. Noted. Thank you so much for this comment. All the comments will be preserved, forwarded to the product team, to the dev team, showing hey guys, everyone loves the updates and have more ideas to share. So thank you so much for that. Okay. And we also have, not this one, this one. LaTeX enriched text. It's not a formula, but it's a formula as well. So it's for those who like to incorporate elegant mathematical expressions in online documents. Not a very common use case, but somehow we had quite a lot of requests. So this is an example of how it may look like. This is how it looks like, and this is how it looks like as the result. Does it look more elegant? Yes. Do I have amazing use cases to propose? No. I think that if you need LaTeX, you know about this. So, yeah. What we're going to improve next regarding the formulas? Nothing. There is nothing in the scope. If something appears, it will be an occasion, maybe a lucky one, but no plans to improve anything here yet. Next, things. Oh my God, design is not perfect. Okay. We redesigned our left sidebar, and this is one of our focus areas right now as a product. So we want to make onboarding and the onboarding both for creators, champions, and onboarding of new, probably non-technical teammates easier, smoother, and more elegant. Not only so, first like thing you can do is permissions. Just limit access to something teammates don't need to see to avoid confusion. And we're working to make things more discoverable. So let me show you what had changed. So right now we have two screens, all items and my items. For example, in all items, I have quite a lot of spaces, as you see. So sometimes I just want to focus on something I have chosen for myself. And right now, my items, then they include three types of data. Something that is shared with me by entity level access, private, so it was okay my space how it was before. I can create something invisible for me only, and those entities that I added to favorites. What we plan also will be in my items and what we are working on right now from multiple perspectives, so that if something was assigned to me, so like I could see all work from multiple places assigned to me in my place. So it will also be in my items, and we are working both on design and technical solution right now. Also, sometimes you like when you're talking about all items, there are quite a lot of spaces, and if I see hidden for me as well, that's quite a lot. And we have search, so I can say find for me like customer success things, and it will show us quite a lot of things. And it will be right here. So it just saves you some time. We also unified it from design perspective. And you can also add space to my items. So for example, like customer success space is the most important one. This is why I can add it to my items, so it was always on top. And something we just released today, I think like 19 minutes ago, is new space configuration setup. I will not dive deeper into that because I haven't tested it on myself, but right now, instead of space configuration, you see show databases. And when you click on it, first you will see all the databases, so they're more discoverable and you don't have to switch between different screens. And the things like fields, relation, access templates, and these kind of things, they're still here, as well as the drop-down menu here. So please play around here, give us a feedback, because that's something in our focus, and this is more likely that your feedback will be taken into consideration and released soon. And if you want to hide it, like you can just hide it like this. Do I personally like it? I think it's much easier right now to switch, because when it was open a separate screen, it was more confusing, I believe. So yeah. And also some of buttons like audit log, they now are here. Activity log, trash. So if you lost them, they're here. Everything can be everything deleted can be undeleted, aka restored if it's not an integration. So this is about our left menu changes. So again, what is next? We want to rework space configuration and continue improvement that I just shared with you right now. Homepage, where you will be able to see all relevant for you information, and nested spaces. Finally, to make left menu work smoother and look less messy. Next is permission updates. So permissions is also still an area of our focus, and it requires a lot of core backend development. This is why our speed here is probably less than you could expect, but faster than we planned. So finally, we released ability to share entity with a group, and we are going to release share entities with linked groups and share database with a group. So like same area. Yeah. So for permissions, probably two most simple cases we can share is the ability to share a document, a wiki doc with everyone in the workspace while other docs stay more confidential. Or if you have a project and its tasks, you can share it with a team who is working on it. So when you have multiple teams, multiple projects, so team has access to their project only. So before, the beneficial way was just to use a people field as a source of permissions. Right now, you can simply assign a team. So let maybe switch it. Okay. So yeah, that's a real use case from one of our customers. So let's say we have a document which is called vacation policy, and here we explain what is it. And however, at the same time, other documents, they're more confidential, so I don't want others to see them. This is why by default, my access to documents and to the wiki space is no access. However, then I can click here on the share button and I can choose everyone at Palina Sandbox knew everything at our workspace. And then everyone will be invited. Or you can choose a particular team. For example, this one is for developers, this one is for leadership, this one is for someone else. So there are two types of groups. The first one is which is called everyone in the workspace, including newcomers that you will be inviting. And the second one are groups that you created manually. If some of your use cases are still not covered, or you're curious how to define permissions or how to create a company wiki, please ping us. We'll be really happy to help here, because our permission system is very powerful, but very complicated as well. So you have probably like no chance to have a similar experience in other tools because we have a new model and the cognitive load is much higher than you can expect it to be. So we will do our best like to cover your like to save you time with our time and effort. So just ping us in the intercom chat or via email or like anywhere, and we'll help you to configure necessary permissions for your teammates, for freelancers, for customers, and most popular use cases will receive their own like videos or educational guides. This is probably it about permissions. Okay, hope you can see my screen. See, we're like already on number 9 from 12. And that means that we are going according to our schedule. What about other updates? So we released ability to log. You can log entity, view, and document. Fibery-to-Fibery sync, quick add, relative like better filters, and better readability in rich text fields. Let's go one by one for every of them. First of all, regarding the log, log can be done almost anywhere, but for now, one by one. So there is no way, for example, to log batch of entities, like choose all of them and log with one click. And there is no way to have an automation rule. For example, like when task is moved to the archived state, then it is logged. But if you need it again, tell us. However, there is like an entity, for example, dependencies on the timeline, and the spec is very ready, and you don't want anyone to change anything. This is why you can like log editing, and it is called logged. However, as you see, there is also like a pop-up, click to unlock. So that simply means that this is not a permission use case. So you cannot like say, okay, if it is locked, no one can edit it. No, it's rather prevents accidental changes. So if someone wants to edit it, they will be able to do that if they have enough permissions for that. Lock and automation, good. You can share the use case in a somewhere, but I will note your request anyway. What else can be logged? You can also log views. For example, these are like who's off today because of sick leave. Ksenia, please feel better. Chris, please feel better. Guys, love you both. And there is also ability to log editing here. Same pattern. You'll see such an icon, and you can like unlock it anytime. And last but not least, you can log documents. For example, there is like company homepage that don't want anyone to occasionally change. So log editing, it is locked, it is relocked. So pattern here is pretty simple. Okay, next one is filters. So I think that filters we delivered like they cover 90% of use cases related. So what does it mean? For example, you go to the all vacations timeline. Okay, there we are. And with the green color, we see like that means that this is a vacation. Red one, it's a sick day, and gray one means that this is a working day, like overtime. And right here, I have a filter on every of the databases, which is called where dates start is on or later than custom date 90 days ago. So before, there was only ability to set an exact date. For example, only show me vacations after January 2025. And if I wanted something more generic, I had either to create a formula on a database level, in our case, like 4 databases, or I had to manually update it like once in a while, in our case, like once 3 months. And of course, no one is doing that. So there becomes more and more items, and it's loading slower and slower because the more items you have there, like the worse performance is. So right now you can set relative days filter, and it shows you like 90 days ago from today, and it shows you from which date it starts working, and you can adjust it to your expectations. Also, we added more text operators here. So is on later than, is on or earlier than, is later than, is earlier than. So it becomes much more easier to operate with dates with any view filter. So you can apply it not only on the timelines, but also on boards, on tables, like everywhere. Primary use case, which is not covered yet, it's hard to stick to calendar definitions. For example, there is no filter like this week. So Fibery could automatically understand, today we have a Wednesday, with this week starts on Monday, and not for everyone, for someone it starts on Saturday or on Sunday, for example, in Israel. So it has to somehow detect like your location, and then detect what does this month, this week, or this year, or past year means for you. So the best thing you can achieve here, if you need it, is either to like do this manually, or like relative 365 days ago, but it will give you not a calendar year, rather a relative year duration. So, however, this covers, I would say, like 90% of the use cases shared by our customers, which is like good enough. And we are continue collecting the requests. So if you will need it, please let us know. Quick add, I love it, but I failed to find it myself. And I found it only when I started working for this webinar. So there is such an icon here in the left upper corner. You can click create new entity, and you can choose which database do you want to create. Let's say I want to create a conversation, and I can set a name of it, and also other fields. I can choose which one do I want to fill in, and if there is a form here, it will be also suggested to you to do this. So it's it's a very nice and simple way to add any type of data. So you don't have to go to the relevant table or relevant board, scroll down, click new item. This is it. So before, for quick add-in, we were using search, but it was pretty undiscoverable. So this is it. However, as you see, there is a set name button. And in some cases, name is generated as a formula. So this becomes more convenient, and that's the problem that we are still like empty to solve. That's one of the problems we are focusing now: how to make entities fast if their name is generated as a formula. And another feature we're also working on right now is required fields. So the required fields will also appear here, and if someone tries to create something without required fields, it will be not possible. So that's something we have. and create multiple. Ooh, I can create multiple. Aha, probably I will add. Let's test it out. This one I didn't mention. Test it. Create. A tab. Aha, it asks me to add something like here. Okay, no participants. Cool. Aha, and it just leaves me another pop-up to add the next one. So yeah, love it. I hope it will be handy for you as well. But maybe I will stick with the search because I'm just used to search and I'm a human and we don't like to change our patterns, right? Fibery-to-Fibery sync, I will not be able to show how it works because it's quite a complicated thing to showcase, and there has to be a sense. I mean, like a use case. So when does it make sense to have a Fibery-to-Fibery sync? When, for example, you're a very big company and you have departments that do not talk to each other at all. Like, for example, you have in-house production and you also have a product team. And the in-house production is like making digital advertisement for customers, and you have a separate product, I don't know, about pet care, and they do not care about their work at all. But you do, because you have to understand how successful the teams are. Maybe it makes sense for HRs to keep an eye on all the employees. So on the one hand, it's possible to manage everything with a single workspace, but with many spaces and permissions. However, it can be also overwhelming for admins. And we have few big customers that just like have separate workspaces and it works much better for them. So this is the primary use case of Fibery-to-Fibery sync. Maybe you're a startup accelerator and want to seek startup goals progress and just not to click one by one and you all are in Fibery. Maybe you're in VC and your projects and your all projects are also in Fibery and you want to sync their financial data to yourself as well. So there are probably a few use cases we can think of, but I don't think that they're like relevant for most of our viewers right now. So just keep in mind that this is possible. It's enterprise only feature. So as you see, like most of features from 56 features we released, like 55 are common for everyone, but this one we moved to the enterprise. We'll also improve the bit readability in rich text. I hope you mentioned it. If not, I'm just telling you and you will be able to see it. Regarding content, we are working on the templates updates. So we updated a few templates. Every template right now has its own video with explanation from me, and which is also uploaded to the YouTube. So I hope that the adoption of new templates will become easier, and we also update our older templates with new UI features. Like if we introduce layouts, they will be there. If we introduce, like, I don't know, custom color for buttons, they will be updated as well. We had a new category which was called holiday and which had some funny and fancy templates. It was alive for I think 2 or 3 weeks and it is abundant already, but you can still find those templates somewhere, like by search. If you have any ideas about the templates, in our gallery there is like a form you can fill in, suggest a template or suggest an integration. Also, since you are here, and this is not like a public promise, but if you have a template and you want to put your name on it and you want to put it in our, for example, gallery, you're very welcome to contact us and we're ready like to explore. So this is not a recurring like a stable initiative that we're running, but if you want to contribute and I don't know, to leave your contacts if you're a consultant, and like hope that someone will reach out because they loved your template, like you're very welcome to do that. We'll be happy to like have partnership here. Yeah, so we uploaded a couple of videos, and my two favorite videos here are collaborating with customers and freelancers. This is our video from our product guy Anton on the YouTube, where he explains how new permission model can be used to collaborate with customers and freelancers. Spoiler, those users will be free and they will see their work only. And Chris created a video guided tour of entity view where he showcases all the most fancy and hidden features which can improve UI on the entity view. What we are going to work on next? Dependency management. I mean, like next, it's like for the next month. Dependency management is in focus right now, is in progress right now. Timeline probably like has the biggest focus, but we're like also thinking about, of course, automations with dependencies, visualization and other views if possible. So again, if you have something in mind and you need it all the time, that's the time to ping us. Required fields coming soon, almost ready. Asana integration also coming soon. Performance improvements regarding the rich text. So one of developers volunteered to dive deeper what can be done to improve like documents stability, performance, loading, these kind of things. So we will see what can be done here. And this is it. Time for Q&A if there are any questions. Outsource departments might work. Yes, that's true. I think like this is something between freelancing. But yeah. And again, for those who joined a bit later, recording will be sent to you, uploaded to the YouTube, and you can also check in community the list of those features with explanations, etc. Okay, Alexander is typing. Um, I will stay here till the last question, but I don't think like if we will not have many, everything will end soon. So we'll wait for a few minutes if we have any question. And next one will be for sure in February about February updates. Can I automatically move an entity to a database where I do not have write access anymore, aka archive? So yes, if there is a database that you don't want to use anymore, for example which comes to my mind, I was migrating from ClickUp, and I don't want like everything new is stored in Fibery, but I have old database which is called like task, and I want to be able to check it out maybe sometimes, but like be in some space all the time. So you can create a space which is called archived, and then you can move the databases you do not use. That's the first case. Second one, there is an entity. For example, if the task is done and then it is moved to the archived state, I don't want anyone to be able to edit it. We don't have archive feature right now, so like it will be, my solution proposed will be rather built on workarounds. I can think of the fact that by default, your access to this database is viewer. But if you're assigned to this task with assignees field or with people field, you have more access, for example, editor. And when the task is moved to the archive, this user is removed from this people field. And removing it from people field will remove the access capabilities as well. And the next one solution is to convert. You can convert entity from one database to another. For example, there will be two databases, task and archive task. And once task is done, you can just archive, you can convert it into the archive. Original will be deleted, but there will be a duplicate in another database which has lower permission levels. So these are three options I can think of. But of course, it's better if you support this out of the box. So your question is noted as a request. When is mobile? Mobile is in our plans for Q1, Q2 this year. So sadly, one of the developers who is like I think like our wonderful mobile developer, he's also working on permissions. So we would be happy if he could finish his permission part and then switch to the mobile. And in permissions, you never forecast because you never know where the challenge is coming from and when and how much time it will take to fix. And in our company, in our vision, permissions are more important than mobile. So we hope to start working like in the first 2 quarters if everything goes according to the plan. As you see, I'm like trying to avoid any promises and explain why is that. If someone else will be willing to join, maybe it will start a bit sooner, but I cannot promise anything right now because we also hope to improve files, and that this also will take some focus here. So yeah. Do you plan to add the ability to customize the context menu that pops up after text selection? For example, I use Marcus code function very often. When the Marcus equation function appeared, I sometimes accidentally click it. No. I mean, like, I'm happy that you asked that because that's the first time I think, or maybe second, I can hear it. So if we were not aware of the problem, it's unlikely we can fix it. So did we plan? No. Will I forward that to the devs, and by any chance, if someone is bored and wants to work on that, it will be fixed? Yes. Is it a big chance? No. Sorry. And thanks, Alexander, for the answer you made. Or just the ability to move this opportunity to the end of the list. Can you maybe ping us an intercom chat and maybe record a video? Because having like video that you can share with teammates helps to emphasize the struggle you are facing. Something like, every day at 9 a.m. I'm doing this, and instead of spending 1 minute, it takes me 10 minutes and 3 cups of coffee. So, of course, like technically, it changes nothing, but we understand the pain more with video, and it decreases the chances that we will be able to help somehow, but not 200% for sure. Recently, I had to share folder to a person, which I was not able to. I had to move the folder to another space for it to be shared. Are you planning to implement sharing of folders? Same relates to the documents. Are you planning to implement sharing of the documents anytime soon? Okay, now you'll have to listen to the permissions explanation, permissions logic. So I will even stop sharing the screen, and I will start if I will need Fibery to showcase. So how Fibery permission model overall works. There are a few types of data you are working with and that you can see. So first of all, these are spaces. Spaces are those things in the left menu you see. Usually they represent a process, and inside they have views and databases. Second level, so to see something inside the space, you have to have access to this space. That makes sense. Second step is that space consists of databases, different types of data. So for example, project management will consist of project and task. So, however, in Fibery, you can create views with the databases from another space. For example, you can have a space called software development. And inside of it, you can have a table with projects from project management space. So to see it, you have two types of access: to the place where this table lives in, and to the data which is represented in this table. So you have to have access both to the table lives and data which is shown on this table. This makes sense if you think about accidental critical permission issues. Imagine you have a salary table which only, I don't know, financial guys have access to. And somehow financial guys just created a table with the salaries in project management, and thus everyone could see it. So no, you have to have access both to the space and to the data. And views like table or board or timeline, they are not data containers. They just show us the databases. So when you say folder, inside a folder, you can have different views. So you can have a table with projects, a board with tasks, I don't know, a table with salaries. And you cannot set up permissions based on the folder. You have still to set up permissions based on the database, aka data source, which lives inside the views inside the folder. So no, we will never have folder level permissions. It will it is not like straightforward. So you like click a couple of buttons and everything works. But usually you organize data in folders by some criteria. For example, this folder is for this customer, or this folder is for this team, something like this. I can imagine that this is a use case when you start creating the folders. So there is something on the top criteria, you are grouping it by. And in Fibery, you will have, for example, to create a database, which is called team, and give these team relations to the projects, to the tasks, to the bugs, to the stories, whatever was shown there. And then you can apply permissions to these relations. So if you are from this team, you can see everything in this folder. If you are not from this team, it will be simply invisible for you. So then this is why, like, so no, there will be no folder permissions at all, but someday we will make it more discoverable how to organize permissions. Regarding documents, personally, I think we even have, let me share the screen right now. Okay, there is a public guide. So there are two types of documents. The first one that you can just create in the left menu, and which is called document. But documents as they are not very powerful. They're very limited in terms of functions. So you can use them for readme, for customize me, etc. If you need to apply something on top of them, for example, permissions, or find out who was the author, or I don't know, make some states like in draft, published, archived, they have to be a database. So you will simply have a database called document. You can then show them in the left menu like this. For example, our user guide here is an example how like we have a database called guide, and it is organized by smart folders. And there is a guide which explains you how to do this. So if you need permissions, then document has to be a database. And document can be converted into the entity. So document which lives in the left menu, I think like this one, can be converted into the document entity. So yeah, and if you need a document created to explain the project you're running right now, it can be either connected to the project and thus inherit its permissions. It can be a part of the space, thus inherit its permissions. But if it doesn't inherit neither entity permissions nor space permissions, it makes sense to make it a part of the company wiki and then share it as an entity, like with a group or with a particular person. Is it confusing? Yes. I'm sorry, like you told that you know about this, but I see you as an anonymous user too. This is why I had to make a step back and explain it. Is it possible to embed different views of a report in a document? Bye-bye, Alexander. Love the product. Thank you. Love you as well. So yes, it's possible. Let me go to my Sandbox account here. And boom, boom, boom. Let's maybe have a document test, and you can embed any view with those guys. Is there like, but however, when you make a report, let me maybe create a report right now. Let's say I can have a chart with a document, create, and here I can have different tabs. So is it possible each of those tabs behave like a separate embedded view? No, it will always show you in the embedded in the first tab here, unfortunately, and that will be it. No way like even to pin it, which one will be the first one, the default one. You could just like move it left, move it to the right, and like this. So if it was something you were asking about. So yeah, you'll have to switch inside the report. By the way, we hope that when we improve our files extension, it will be easier to build a proper gallery view. So there is also hope that it will appear this year, 2025, best year. Yay. Okay, we ran out of questions, and I see that no one is typing, and we have less real humans listening to us right now. So again, I'm looking forward to see you in our chats, in community, everywhere. Thank you so much for coming, and hope to see you again next month in the end of February, and we will have something fancy to showcase. Love you all, and bye bye.